Sorry guys, also there's no cameras in here either, folks.
Yeah.
Cameras away, guys.
This is where it was. Right here in this chamber. I saw it with my own eyes. I had it in my hands. Gold. It does strange things to a man's mind. If you look into the darkness long enough, your imagination can take over. And fortune, it's never where you expect to find it. Who would ever have thought I would come here to find mine, so far away from home? I was born in Canton, in the Si Yap area, the first son of a prosperous merchant. He was the headman of our village. When father heard the stories of New Gold Mountain, he took it as a sign that great fortune was just at hand. He went to the Kwangung temple to worship his ancestors and ask for guidance. And after consulting the fortune sticks, he could scarcely believe his luck.
The heir to your name will find great fortune in a faraway place, and will bring gold to the house of your ancestors.
To father, it was a prophecy that I would go to New Gold Mountain and return home with gold and riches. The day I set out to find my fortune, mother gave me a jade talisman to lead me to discovery and bring me back home. And she begged me to take my brother, to keep him out of trouble's way. But trouble followed Chin Tem like a shadow. Ballarat, a place where the poorest peasant could become a rich man and strangers could become best friends, or worst enemies. Luck could strike anywhere, anytime. Life on the goldfields was wild, chaotic, and dangerous. Everybody knew that there were places you should never go and men you should never cross. Everybody that was, except Tem. He resented the heavy tax inflicted on the Chinese arriving at Melbourne. So, like thousands before us, we got off the ship at Robe and marched more than 250 miles to the goldfields. We arrived exhausted 3 weeks later. But the stories were true. The rivers really did glitter with gold dust, although everyone knew the real fortunes were hidden deep underground. Such mining needed heavy equipment and lots of money, much more than we had. So we became tributers to a mine owner, slaving down here in the dark for a small share of whatever we found. And we found a lot. In fact, one of Ballarat's richest mines, the Warhop Canton mine, was operated by a group of Chinese a few hundred yards behind you. Oh yes, there was gold here, all right. But it didn't come easily. The air was thin and stale. The dust stuck to your lungs, and the darkness played tricks on your mind. And then there was the sound that froze the blood of every miner. The sound of creaking timbers. When you heard that, you got out as fast as you could. I found enough gold to know I was close to my fortune, but Tem was getting impatient. He'd started picking over the ground already worked by Europeans, looking for gold that may have been missed. When word got out that he'd found gold outside the old Keneally mine, I knew we were in trouble. Keneally was a giant, an Irishman who loved to fight and hated the Chinese. It was the night of the New Year celebration at the Chinese camp. So much noise and excitement. Keneally crashed into the camp, attacking everyone in his path. Men rushed from all around. No one knew who was fighting or why, and no one really cared. There was screaming and yelling. We escaped arrest, but Tem had been badly injured. His body was bruised, his ribs broken, his pride crushed. Tem and I returned to the mine, but he struggled, and the pain was more than he could bear. But I knew the sooner I found my fortune, the sooner I could take my brother home. I had to believe Father's prophecy. We had to keep trying. And then, one night, it happened. We prepared a section of wall for blasting. Tem lit the fuse. As the dust settled, we saw it. The first bright glint of yellow in the darkness. Tem climbed in for a closer look, and the whole shaft lit up with a golden glow. He was yelling and laughing. He was his old self again. I stood there, frozen. It had all been worth it. We were finally at our journey's end. Tem ran to me, his face shining. We danced and sang like children. That's when I saw the jade talisman lying at my feet, in pieces. What did it mean? I didn't have to wait long to find out. By the time we heard the sound of the timbers, it was too late. We were trapped, and the gold was lost under tons of solid rock. Had we found our gold only to be buried alive with it?
Bring gold to the house of your ancestors.
No! I can't leave him! Let me go! Let me go! I have to save my brother! That vision of gold, the thought that it was still down there, how could I turn my back on Father's dream? Right up to the moment I died, my very last thoughts were of this place. Tem took my body back to China to rest with honor among my ancestors. But he returned to Ballarat. The prophecy was right after all. The heir to my father's name did find fortune in a distant land, in his wife and 2 beautiful sons. As for the gold, it's still waiting for one lucky person to claim it. When that day comes, I will return home. Until then, my spirit waits here to protect those who come in search of it. As they come to this place, seeking their destiny, whisper to them from beyond the shadows. Whisper the story of 2 brothers, of treasure lost and fortune found. And if they listen carefully, they might learn that fortune comes in many forms, and the greatest treasures might be right in front of you.
So there we go, guys.